Okay, know this isn't my normal type of video, but I feel like this is something I have to talk about. I also might not know how to properly pace this, so bear with me a little bit. Hello everyone, PJ here. So, on May 10th, a studio called El Cuartel Blasters announced that they were developing a fan remake of Yokai Watch 2 for release on PC and other platforms. Now, naturally, for such a starving community such as Yokai Watch, this was a major deal, and according to the developers, it was also going to be multi-language, making it an even bigger deal. However, the Japanese side of the fan base saw this as piracy and a violation of copyright laws and started speaking up about it, with some users going as far as threatening the development team. In response, El Cuartel Blasters privated their account. And you'd think that this would all blow over after too long. Well, here's where the real controversy comes in. Because the situation got so big that Level-5, the company that develops the Yokai Watch games, issued a statement on May 13th titled A Statement on Piracy and Illegal Distribution. I'll read it out loud now. We want to address a serious issue we have recently observed: the unauthorized reproduction and distribution of our game software across certain online communities. Except where especially permitted under copyright law or other applicable regulations, reproducing, modifying, or editing our game software without our authorization, as well as distributing or selling such materials to third parties, constitutes copyright infringement regardless of the purpose or intended use. We want to make it clear that we will continue to pay close attention to these activities. To protect our work, we will take necessary legal action against any such copyright infringement, including content removals and account suspensions. We would also like to ask the community to refrain from downloading or using pirated copies of our games. Thank you for respecting our work. We are working hard to ensure that everyone can enjoy our games fairly and safely. From any other video game company, this statement would probably be pretty fair, but definitely not from Level-5. Let's use Sega and Nintendo, two other Japanese video game companies, as an example. Sega doesn't really have any piracy problems because most of their games are currently available for purchase from official sources, and the ones that aren't available, they don't really care what methods you use to play them. It's mostly the same thing with Nintendo, though they are a bit more strict, and more people typically emulate Nintendo games due to them being exclusive to Nintendo hardware. Level-5, however, is a completely different story, as the games they're trying to prevent from being pirated aren't even being sold by them anymore. The only other way to get these games anymore are from third-party sellers, and for the first game it's not that bad, but good luck with the other three. Level-5 also didn't release as many Yokai Watch games in the West in general. Yeah, we got the first three mainline games in Blasters, but we missed out on getting Romance of the Three Kingdoms and Blasters 2, not to mention Yokai Watch Just Dance Special Edition. How will I ever live knowing that we never got Yokai Watch Just Dance Special Edition overseas? Heck, even the merchandise we got was really lackluster compared to the merchandise Japan and Korea got. Why couldn't we get Bandai instead of Hasbro? My point is, Level-5 is getting upset at the fans for pirating the games even though they're not giving us a way to play them. Yokai Watch 3 was the last game we got here in the West, but Japan still kept getting more into the Switch era as they got Yokai Watch 4, Yokai Watch 1 for Nintendo Switch, and Why School Heroes Bustlin' School Life. Level-5 announced a Yokai Watch 4 localization at Anime Expo 2019, but never bothered to announce that it was cancelled even after 7 years. The worst part is that one on Switch should be really easy to localize. You already have the entire game localized. The 3DS version was released all over the world. This should have been the easiest localization ever. Why haven't they done it? And the fact that the only time they have acknowledged the Western Yokai Watch fanbase in years is to tell them, stop pirating our games that we won't give you a way to play anyways, is actually ridiculous. Now, besides the company itself, there have been many Japanese users speaking their minds about the whole situation. There have been some that have been reasonable and open to hearing our side of the argument, and I wholeheartedly thank them for that. However, many, And I mean many others are using this as an opportunity to clown on the West, calling us criminals, and some are just being downright racist. So I also want to address some of their arguments and counter them. It's better to support Level 5's official releases. You also got some of the games localized, so buying them would be better than pirating them. Yes, it would be much better to support Level 5's official releases. And seeing how the fanbase has reacted to this statement, it's clear that they would gladly do so if given the opportunity. But once again, we have no way to officially purchase the games in our languages. And for the people saying just buy the localized games, that still wouldn't be supporting Level 5 because all of the sellers are secondhand. Level 5 doesn't get any of the money. Some people have the gall to say that buying the game secondhand is better than piracy when it really isn't. You forget that there are quite a few fans who live in the US where the economy is really, really awful. People are struggling just to pay rent. Do you really think they'll be able to afford a $600 3DS game? Also, I'd really rather not give these scummy resellers my money unless I'm trying to build a physical collection. If I just wanted to play the game and didn't care about having it physical or not, I'd rather just download it on the H-Shop. If you want to play the new game so badly, then just learn Japanese. Just learn Japanese. Of course, because everyone has time to learn an entire language just to play a video game. Are these people hearing themselves? These criminals want the game in their language, but they're just going to pirate them when they come out, so what's the point? We're not gonna pirate the games? Why would we ask for more accessible options for us to legally get the games if we were just going to pirate them anyways? This whole squabble never would have happened. I own these games. I own physical copies of these games. I don't remember what happened to my boxes of 2 and Blasters, but I have them. I have them right here. And I also have a bunch of Yokai Watch merchandise, as you can see here on my wall in every single video. I collect the Keystone, like Japanese metal, like I know this looks like you can tell how big of a fan I am by my ability to purchase merchandise. But like for a Yokai Watch fan, yeah, you have to be really dedicated to buy the merchandise. Like even these like medallion, just the pages for the medallions, like these here can get pretty rare. Like this whole squabble is stupid. People want to purchase these products. I also want to refer back to the statement where it says modifying or editing our game software without our authorization constitutes copyright infringement. It's not just pirated copies they're against, but also mods. The modding community has done incredible things, and losing great mods such as Blasters++ and the in-development Extremal Calamity would be tragic. However, there is one series of mods that, if taken down, could possibly bring the entire international community to ruins. The translation patches. Since Level 5 never localized many of the games, incredibly talented fans such as Light decided they would bring it upon themselves to make sure people could play the games they were missing out on in their own language. By taking down these patches, Level 5 would prevent a huge amount of the Yokai Watch fanbase from experiencing the games they were never able to play before. Level 5 thankfully hasn't taken any action against mods yet, so I am hopeful for the future. You may have noticed the video's title also says how Level 5 can save the franchise. While I may not be a businessman, I do believe I have a foolproof, if not at least pretty good plan to bring the series back. So if any Level 5 executive is watching this for whatever reason, this is meant for you to listen. Step 1. Localize the goddamn remaster! It's such an easy thing to do. You don't even need to have the voices localized. There are plenty of games that have localized text without having localized voice acting. Yeah, it would be nice to have the voices be in a language we can understand, but if it gets the game out, then I really don't mind. And make sure you only announce it when it's almost done. Level 5 has had a problem lately with announcing their games way too early. Deca Police, for example, was supposed to be released in 2023. Notice that I said supposed to be. Another very important thing to do is actually market the game. One of the reasons Yokai Watch 3 failed here in the West was because the game was barely marketed. I don't even think there were any TV commercials for the game. And if there were, then there sure weren't enough. Commercials, trailers, Nintendo Directs, all of that. Another thing you could do is add a Switch 2 performance patch. Having the first Yokai Watch game be in clean 60 FPS with crisp screen quality would be incredible, and it would get Japanese people who already own the game to pick it up again. But PJ, why would anyone buy a Switch 1 game when the Switch 2 is already out? It doesn't matter if there's a performance boost, people will want new games for the new console. That didn't stop Tamagotchi life. The remaster will spark interest in new fans of the series and also bring back old fans who may have forgotten about the franchise. Now from here, the fans will want to go back and play older titles. From here, Level 5 can develop a Yokai Watch 2 remaster. You know, the thing that started this whole conflict. They could develop it for the Switch 2 and give it the amazing title of Yokai Watch 2 for Nintendo Switch 2. I know, absolutely genius title. Though, actually, a better route would be porting the Yokai Watch games to all sorts of modern consoles. Level 5 can put their games on Steam. We've seen them do it with Megaton Mushi, or whatever it's called. Sorry, this is off script, so... Like, the more accessibility, the more sales, and the more people who will be able to play it. It's basically sitting on free money. While the main development team is working on the remaster, the localization team can work on translating Yokai Watch 4. When it releases, there could be a Switch 2 patch that brings the frame rate and resolution up to the PS Pro version, once again getting Japanese players to pick up the game again. And again, Level 5 will need to actually market the games for them to succeed. The main reason I'm upset at this statement is of course because of how Level 5 is asking us to support them officially while not giving us the option to do so. However, I'm also upset because this is shutting down the creativity that started the Yokai Watch franchise in the first place. It's also incredibly hypocritical when Level 5 is using generative AI, which is much worse than piracy in every way. However, there is a chance that we can convince Level 5 to bring the franchise back. A Japanese user on Twitter started a petition for Level 5 to release ports of the older games internationally, and it already has a bunch of signatures for being up for so little time. But it could always use more support, so I put a link to it in the description below if you want to sign it. My heart goes out to the team at El Cuartel Blasters. It's a shame they had to cancel their project. I hope that soon there will be a peaceful resolution for all parties involved. Well, until next time, catch you later.
Great work! This video is done. Time to cool off with a hefty set of sit-ups. Oh yeah! 1, 2, I'm not counting that one. That wasn't a real push-up. Wait, I'm doing push-ups now? Are you still watching the video? I thought you were already gone. I mean, I don't think I can leave until you turn the video off. Wait, I can stop the video? Oh, I can stop the video. Okay, I am stopping the...